Attention. Attention gamblers and poor people. We've got what you want.
My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius, General of the Armies of the North.
Yeah, I don't think that's what we were talking about. Finally, it's here. Raw Mike Richards, picks and props. Let's get to it. Well, we are back at it again, and oh, geez, I thought that Buffalo game, we were going to cash in. We were 4 out of 5. The only thing we needed was Josh Allen to run for 28.5 yards. Look, I get it. Their philosophy is everybody eats, but sometimes it's okay to eat yourself. You know what? That didn't sound very good. Take two. Sometimes you just have to keep the ball. James Cook had it rolling. Dalton Kincaid. You know, we even picked up a couple of Dolphin on receptions, both Waddle, which he was absolutely vacant until the last play of the first half when he gets a touchdown. I don't get that Miami team. And we know why. On the sidelines, I just do not understand where you think this team is going, but it's probably nowhere. The Bills still look good. Milano seems to be on every single play, but I really thought Josh Allen would come through for us. So what? So what if he's got millions of dollars and we don't? He got married. He's so happy. None of us are happy. Really, nobody, or some, but not many. You couldn't just cash for us? Okay, so we'll go after it again. And we'll do that in a couple of different ways. By the way, did you use the promo code here, mybookie.ag? They've been awesome. They were very happy with the first day that we presented this particular Raw Mike Richards picks and props. But you do have that promo code, RAW, Raw. I wonder where we got that from. Make sure your picks would be insured up to $500. So if somehow you mistakenly put $500 yesterday and Josh Allen screwed you, well, you would be insured on that one. So once again, if you're going to deposit where your money is going to count. That's with MyBookie. And once again, go to MyBookie, put in the promo code RAW. Coming up on today's show, we're going to also talk to my good friend Andrew Cayley from Covers, huge college football guy, and you know how busy it gets, starting with tonight's game, including, well, you get the Iowa-Rutgers game, tomorrow a full slate, and then in the last segment of the program, kind of a thrill to have what we're calling Landman picks. That's right. Billy Bob Thornton, as Landman, is going to come on, and he's going to make some college football picks, so I'm excited about that. And all our good friends who have joined us, and hopefully you'll get a chance to see this. By the way, if there's something you want us to cap, maybe a little out of the line, I'm going to do EPL picks in about a second here. Get a hold of me on Twitter or X at Raw Mike Richards. The same handle on Instagram. Look for me on Facebook if you want to. And very shortly, we'll be putting a lot of this stuff out on TikTok. Although I won't be lip syncing to like a 12-year-old girl. That's just a freak show on TikTok sometimes, honestly. Taking a look at some EPL picks, so that is English Premiership. I'll be doing some of that. But before I get to those, there's just a couple of NFL games that I sort of sifted over that I'm going to play this weekend. And a lot of it starts with looking at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and what they did against the Houston Texans. Like that defense. And they have enough pieces on offense where, quite frankly, they probably should win that division if they're healthy. I got the Bucs to cover the -6.5. Baker Mayfield over 237.5 yards passing. And I'm going to take Bucky Irving for over 70.5. He looked real good. He looks like he's got even maybe a little bit bigger since his Oregon Duck days. And he can bounce and he can fly. They also throw it to him. So if you want to throw in receptions, he's usually good for 3. I'd understand that pick. Also, the Philadelphia Eagles, they're home against the Rams. The Rams, as I've mentioned beforehand, a lot of people like them this year. I know Jimmy the Bag likes them, but I definitely like the Eagles at home to cover the -3.5. Also looking at the Washington Commanders, they need a bounce back game, but I'm going to take the alternative spread at -2.5. And then finally, a couple of other runners, the Falcons and the Panthers. I see no reason Bijan Robinson doesn't run for 70 yards. I mean, it's not huge money, but it's certainly going to pay. It's going to cash. And I like Jonathan Taylor to have yet another big day. They face the Tennessee Titans this weekend. I got Jonathan Taylor for 80 yards plus. That's what I'm taking in the NFL. Sort of sifted a little over that. Coming up, we're going to talk to our good friend Andrew Cayley. In our next segment, we're going to talk college football. He's got lots to choose from. We'll talk a little Oregon Ducks. I think we're going to talk a little bit about Michigan, Nebraska is another game that we're going to cover. And then in the final segment, I will do those EPL picks. That's English soccer, right? Way to go, mate. Okay, that was maybe the worst accent of all time. But then we're going to have Billy Bob Thornton. He's going to give us some of our landman picks. I believe tonight he's taking college football. He's going to be talking Iowa and Rutgers. Join you on the other side.
For over 40 years, Calgarians have trusted DKI Calgary when disaster strikes. From fires and floods to legendary hailstorms, our all-star team delivers rapid response and proven restoration excellence to residential and commercial customers. As the premier restoration provider in Calgary and Southern Alberta, we're the partner families, businesses, insurers, and property managers count on. When the unexpected happens, trust experience. Trust DKI Calgary, restoring homes, businesses, and peace of mind for more than 4 decades.
Oh, and at this time of year, college football. You're so pretty. I can't stay away from it. I'm obsessed with it. And I thought, who else? Who else would be this obsessed with college football? Oh, I know. Andrew Cayley from Covers, my good friend. It's been so long since we've talked, but my God, I saw you on Twitter the other day, see you on social media. I'm like, oh, look at him talking about college football. It's here, brother. It's here.
It's here. I'm back. Oh, it's so good to see your face, Mike. Talking sports betting, talking college football. It's been a crazy start to the season. We can sit here and we can talk about how overhyped Arch Manning was to start the year and how he might not be starting for Kennesaw State much longer the way he's throwing the football. Man, it's been bad. Lots of exciting teams that are playing poorly, like Clemson and Alabama, and guys surprise us like Florida State and Georgia Tech. Like, so much craziness, but at the end of the day, we've still got the big boys like Penn State and Ohio State, and it's just going to be a fun year of college football.
Let's not forget Oregon. Let's not forget.
So I have a wager. I have my friend Douglas. My friend Douglas Farmer.
Let's talk about him too. Douglas Farmer. Okay.
He's all in. He's all in on Penn State this year for the reason like they've used their NIL money wisely to bring back their NFL offensive line, their 2 NFL running backs, Drew Aller, their quarterback, obviously. That's been the kind of recipe that you need to win a national championship in the last, but that's what Ohio State did recently. Like, that's how you do it. But I kind of like Oregon this year. I really like Dante Moore, and Dan Lanning just has that fire, that dog in him. Like, he really does. Like, you watch some of these clips about him, like, hyping up his team, and he's like, yeah, let's go. You want to go to war for that guy? As long as Dante Moore can be an effective quarterback, Oregon's going to have a real good shot. Really, real good shot. So I bet Oregon to win the Big Ten at plus 450 a few weeks ago.
I like it.
I still think there's value in them right now because everybody's all about Penn State. Everybody's all about Ohio State. People are kind of forgetting about the Ducks a little bit. As much as you can forget about a program as big as Oregon, but I think there's some value in them. They're just as talented as an Ohio State and a Penn State if that quarterback level is up to snuff.
Dante Moore, watching that game last week at Northwestern, which was like a toy, right? I mean, of course, even the stadium looked like a toy, but the fact that the guy writes children's books. What, are you kidding me? Like, this is a well-rounded individual who also has, a team around him. And quite honestly, when I look at, so we're getting to some of the plays that we're going to make. To me, I was, when you start talking about what they used to call the Civil War, but people get mad when you use that phrase. But there are just some looks in that game itself. I'm not necessarily taking a total, because I don't know how much Oregon State scores, so it means, unless you think Oregon's going to carry it, but they are going to score. So here's what I have for the Oregon game, and it's in Autzen Stadium too. I'd probably have different feelings if it was in Corvallis, but it is in Eugene, so I'm looking at Sadiq. This is the Oregon receiver for over 35.5 yards receiving. That's really low. For Dante Moore, even though he doesn't throw a ton at times because they can run the ball by committee, but I still think he throws for 241 and a half. Malik Benson, the other receiver, for 45 and a half. These are all receiving yards. If you want to take a first half winner, it's probably not worth anything, but I do have Oregon. But the total team points, I'm taking over 46 and a half. The one thing you have to know about these two teams and Dan Lanning, if he feels like he wants to make a point, just ask Oklahoma State. They're going to run the ball. So look, it's not huge. It's 8.5 times your money. But, on $25, if you want to make $200, there it is right there.
Boy, does Mike Gundy, I know Mike Gundy's not a guy that cares about eating his words or not for the most part, but man, maybe he should have just maybe starting an 18-year-old at the Autzen Zoo is a bit of a problem. Just say that. Say hey, no, it's a tough place to play, but we have him prepared. No, instead he says it's not going to be a problem. Yeah, no, Oregon is your problem. They're going to put up 69 points on you, and you score 3. I think, despite the fact this is a big rivalry game, I'm along the same thinking as you. I like the under 10.5 team total for Oregon State. I think Oregon has a really underrated defense here, and it's just I don't see Oregon State scoring 3 times in this football game.
No,
I just don't.
No, I don't. And talk about making statements. When Castellanos from Florida State, before they play Alabama, he makes these comments like, "Oh, Saban can't save you now, and no one on that team can stop me." Well, you know what? He was right.
He was right, I guess.
Oh my God! I mean, you talk about walking the walk and talking the talk, or that is really something, because Florida State was so bad last year that I haven't played them since that time, because I find with these enormous mismatches, these cream puff games, you got to be really specific about what you believe. A lot of times you're going to take the dog in that. But I'm just curious for this weekend, what do you got?
I'm on one of my favorite plays of the week. Huge Big 12 matchup that everyone should be talking about, and everyone's really weird start time. It's Texas Tech going to Rice-Eccles Stadium to play Utah, and it's a 10 a.m. local start time. I'm just assuming the Utah fans are just going to be up all night and rowdy as hell when they show up for that game there. It's Texas Tech went out and bought the best defensive line that money can buy in the new era of NIL, and they're really good. There's 4 defensive linemen on the defensive front, but they haven't really played anybody at this point. The best defense they've played is Georgia Southern, I think, or something like that. Where Utah has another great defense. Kyle Whittingham has just another great defense. He just builds and builds and builds there. So this is going to be a very, very tightly contested defensive battle, and I think the total of 56.5 is way too high. I would take this below 50 on the under, down to 51.5. This is almost a touchdown too high. These are 2 good defensive teams. I see this being a 27-24 game, so really like the under in that game. We're also going with Miami. Lay the points with Miami. Florida is a dumpster fire. Billy Napier, his seat is super. He somehow saved himself, and now it's a hot seat again. The offense looks miserable. DJ Lagway was supposed to be the savior. It's 5 interceptions last week against LSU. I think Miami has an equally good defense with a bunch of NFL talent on that defensive line. And the big question for Miami that going into this season was, what version of Carson Beck were they going to get?
Yeah, that was the question.
Yeah, was it going to be the 2024 version who lost Georgia some games and didn't look like he was very happy playing football, or was the 2023 guy? But I don't think it's either guy. I think we've seen the best version of Carson Beck. He's completing, I believe, 71% of his passes, and he's leading the nation in completion percentage. If he's this version of Carson Beck, they are a national title contender. That is how good this Miami team is. As long as Mario Cristobal stays out of his own, they should just remove Mario Cristobal from the sidelines in the final 5 minutes of a game, just so he can't screw it up for Miami. But I like laying the 9.5 points here. I got him at 7.5 early in the week. I like that a lot. Mark Fletcher Jr., he's going to run all over this Florida defense, I think. So I like over 72.5 rushing yards for him. That's another big one for me this weekend. Really, really like Miami.
Finally, when you look at these, depending on your age group, there's certain programs that were, these were big programs. And then, if you fast forward, there's so many big programs now that you just never talk about. Or you talk about, it used to be, for instance, Nebraska used to be where you wanted to coach. And then for the last, probably even decade, do you really want to take that program over because they went through a world of hurt? Now Coach Rule is back there. They're feeling pretty good about themselves. You got Michigan coming in at 2-1, Nebraska undefeated so far. But again, when you get to the first 3-4 games, it depends who you play. It can be a little inflated. How do you think this one plays out? Have you touched this game at all?
This is a wait and see watch game for me. I can't wait to see it, and this will be is Nebraska back game. Like if they can do it and Dylan Raiola can live up to all of the expectation and belief that's been put in him when he first came to this program, if he can do that, like Nebraska has a very wide open schedule the rest of the way, and I can see them making it to the Big Ten championship game if they win this football game. Michigan has a very good defense again. We have to give them credit for that. But I watched them play Oklahoma. I watched every snap against Oklahoma, and this Underwood kid was supposed to be different than Alex Orji the season before when they just couldn't move the ball through the air. I'm seeing the exact same problems. This is a very talented athlete who is still a raw passer, and they were just unable to move the ball successfully against that Oklahoma defense. Now, Nebraska run on a bit by Cincinnati, but I think they'll be able to do enough here to at least keep that Underwood honest in this one. So it's all down to Raiola for me. If Raiola can be the guy in this game, and like they're just 1.5 point home dogs, I don't mind a little sprinkle on them on the money line. It's probably like a little better than even money right now. I like them being at home, and I just haven't been impressed by what I've seen from Michigan lately. So this is a big watch and see game for me in terms of Nebraska, but I wouldn't hate a little money line sprinkle on the Huskers in this spot.
Ah, fantastic stuff. Andrew Cayley from Covers, thanks so much for joining me here today. Awesome job as always, buddy.
Thanks for having me. Can't wait to be back.
Mike Richards! Mike Richards!
For over 40 years, Calgarians have trusted DKI Calgary when disaster strikes. From fires and floods to legendary hailstorms, our all-star team delivers rapid response and proven restoration excellence to residential and commercial customers. As the premier restoration provider in Calgary and Southern Alberta, we're the partner families, businesses, insurers, and property managers count on. When the unexpected happens, trust experience. Trust DKI Calgary, restoring homes, businesses, and peace of mind for more than 4 decades.
Welcome back. Here we go. Coming up, just a reminder. Landman Picks. I think it's the first time ever. We'll give it a try, Billy Bob Thornton. I love that show. Hope it comes back. Andrew Cayley, though, too, also in talking about that Nebraska-Michigan game. I can't help it. Every time I think of Michigan, I can't help think of the Minnesota Vikings pick with J.J. McCarthy. I know. I fight with people all the time about it. But I think that pick will probably set them back years. I said it at that time. I'm not changing my opinion. Now, you're probably thinking, well, yeah, way to go, Richards. Yeah, the guy got hurt. He's been hurt twice. You still drafted him. That's the guy you drafted. You passed on Bo Nix. Now, I'm not saying Bo Nix was the second coming. He's not Patrick Mahomes. He's not Josh Allen. Maybe he's not even Trevor Lawrence. Whatever list, but he certainly is someone that was going to play on a Sunday. He's a Sunday guy. J.J. McCarthy wasn't. J.J. McCarthy came from a run-first offense and then heavy defense. Bo Nix, who played till he was 38 years old for the Oregon Ducks, had seen enough, reading defenses, and he'd throw the ball 45 times a game. A pro-style offense to a degree. But he was certainly more Sunday ready than J.J. McCarthy, and so now the Vikings get what they get. Once again, Landman picks coming up, but right now, smart glasses picks. I wish they were easier to put on, but look at that. How smart. And so here we go. I'm going to start with the Merseyside Derby. So that is Liverpool and Everton. And I guess if you're a Scouser, you'll be watching this game probably having chicken and a coke. Here's what I like. All has to do with the front line and who's getting shots on goal. To me, Mo Salah gets over 1.5 shots on goal. Also, I think Cody Gakpo probably has a big game. Just a shot on goal. I say the same for Alexander Isaac. All that money they spent, could you get us a shot on target? And I think he will. Also looking at some of the other games, Jean-Philippe Matata for Crystal Palace. I think he gets a shot on goal. And I think Cole Palmer gets to score or assist. I'm not a Blues guy, but I got to tell you, I like everything about Cole Palmer. except for the hairstyle. It's just weird. It's like a page boy. It's like, I don't want to get into it. Okay, college football tonight. Get ready, because these are some pretty good picks right here. From Landman, it's Billy Bob Thornton. Is that true? So, for the first time ever, Landman picks.
I am sure this is not the first time that you have heard this, but you talk entirely too goddamn much. Let's take a look at Rutgers versus Iowa. Not my favorite game, but that's the one they're playing, so let's bet on it. Let's go to Iowa, because what they like to do is they run that ball, and they run it a lot, and they're going to give the ball to Jazian Patterson. Nice first name, but he's going to get 45 yards rushing, so let's take it. Here's another name, Ethan Kelly McManus. I don't know, some sort of goddamn Greek name or whatever. I can't pronounce it, but he can throw for 209 yards, so that's what I'm betting on. And finally, KJ Duff, he's a receiver. That's who he's throwing it to. He's got to throw it to somebody. He's going to throw it to him, so 56.5 yards. You can put that in the bank. And let me add one more thing. They can run a little bit with that Antoine Raymond. By the way, Antoine, you spelled your goddamn name wrong. 70 yards, that's 69.5 yards for you stupid people. If you put down $20, it's 11 times your money. If you pay the VIG, it's $200. I'll tell you something, Mike. You could probably use that by the looks of your clothes.
Why are the characters always so insulting on my own show? That's what I want to know. Was he right about the clothes? I think he probably was. I'd like to thank Andrew Cayley, who joined me here on Mike Richards' Picks and Props, brought to you by MyBookie.ag. I just have to get used to the pointing thing. They've done a great job for us. This is we're so new to this. As I said, well, you want us to look at something, we'll look at it for you. And also remember to use that promo code. That's RAW. Insure your picks. And listen to the ones that you heard here today. Maybe you don't need that insurance. I sure like a lot of what we talked about today, including the Oregon Ducks, taking care of business. And I also think, oh, and by the way, President Trump's picks are still in play. So make sure you get to it. Once again, Raw Mike Richards, Picks and Props, brought to you by MyBookie.ag. Good luck tonight.
Mike Richards! Mike Richards!
Yeah, sports talk will never be the same again.
Seriously, Jeff, stop laughing.
I mean, have you heard this guy?